you can overcome too. Now, in order to be an overcomer, you got to have something to come over. You can't be a champion and you ain't been in a fight. You can't be victorious if you don't have an opponent.
Tears are a sign to God, I need you. There are seasons in your life where you are mourning. There are a lot of things you can mourn about that create a season of crying.
Maybe we need to adjust our theology. Maybe we have taught enough on 5 steps to be blessed. And I've got the blessing of Abraham. Nothing wrong with that stuff, but maybe we've done enough teaching on being overcomers and then champions and walking in victory. Maybe we've done enough preaching about how God will snatch you out. Maybe we need to change our theology and adjust it to the point that we embrace a God who walks through it with you. Oh God, hallelujah, who goes through the fire with you, who goes into pain with you, who goes into suffering with you. I couldn't understand as a young preacher. I said, God, how can you use me to heal other people? Literally lay hands and see them heal and then bring me home to a mother with Alzheimer's. How could I be so anointed? I remember leaving the church still wet with sweat from preaching and going in the hospital and laying across her body with a sweaty body and laying on her and asked him to heal her, and still she died. And the enemy said, what you gonna preach now? I'm talking about seeing God in suffering, walking you through the pain. And the enemy said, you couldn't even heal your own mother. How can you stand up in front of them and preach now? I said, not only will I preach now, I'll preach her funeral. I'll stand over top of her. And I couldn't do it in my own strength, but I met him in the suffering. So I want to talk to you about this whole shock we have about suffering is not a result of our God, it's a result of our teaching. We have not been taught enough about suffering. See, back when I came along, my grandmother's generation came out of the Great Depression, and all the songs were about suffering. I'm going through. I'll take the way with the Lord's despised few. I started in Jesus, and I'm going to. Ain't nobody singing about suffering no more. When the Depression was over, the revelation of suffering seemed to dissipate out of our hymn books. And so if you want to sing a song about suffering, you have to go back about 40 years because our revelation is seen through the lens of our situation. So the way we see God is a reflection of our point of view. When things are going good, we see him in the Hosanna lens. Oh, but when things go bad, can you still see him in the crucify him lens? Sooner or later, if you live long enough, you're going to have both extremes. You're going to have the dichotomous experience of being victorious over here and agonized over here, of being whole in this area and being broken in there. If you live long enough, you begin to walk away with certain conclusions like Jorgen did, that I can serve a God like this because I found him in my suffering. I know it's not a seductive invitation. I know it's not as dramatic or as pleasant as this world would like to have, that it's hard to get people to come to Jesus now. So we promise you Cadillacs and Mercedes and Rolls Royces. Come to Jesus and God's gonna give you a bigger house. Come to Jesus and he's gonna bring your children out of prison. Come to Jesus and we're quick to make promises. It's easy to write checks on somebody else's account. Come on here. As long as you're writing on somebody else's account, anybody can write you a big check when it comes out of somebody else's account. But walking with God cannot just be a bunch of quick preachers with slick hair saying nice things to excite big crowds. Sooner or later, you're going to have a week like this.
Yes, sir.
Sooner or later, if you live long enough, the pageantry of your wedding will go through the pain of marriage. If you live long enough, the luxury of holding a little beautiful baby in your arms that starts out in your arms ends up on your heart. Yeah, if you live long enough, you're gonna have a week like this. And I came to warn you, don't let the hosannas fool you. I cannot promise you that everybody who starts with you is gonna stay with you. I cannot promise you that everybody who celebrates you will be there when things turn bad for you. But I know a God who's got all power in his hand. He sits high, but he looks real low. And when they throw you in the fire, he'll get in the fire with you. When they throw you in the furnace, he'll be walking around in the furnace with you. He'll stand right there by you because there's some kinetic energy, there's some connectivity, there's some kinship that we have with him in the agony and the suffering of life. So don't be shocked when suffering comes. Set your face as flint. Because we are not serving a God or a faith that is built on just promises of good time. He didn't just give you sunshine and not tell you about rain. He didn't just give you pleasure and not be open about pain. The epitome, every time you see a cross, I want you to see that God is, how do young people say, keeping it real.
Yes,
He's keeping it 100
yes, he is.
that you're going to suffer.
Yes, sir.
So don't be shocked
Yes, sir.
in the suffering. There is a revelation to be seen in the suffering. I thought to myself, he had the biggest crowd at the most insignificant moment. And all that left him before the suffering missed his finest hour. For his finest hour is not when we lay down our coats and we lay down our palm leaves. His finest hour is when they strip back his flesh and he commends his body over to his Father and says, I've done all I can do. And they hold him down for the count and say he will not be back. And for 3 days, it looked like he was a liar. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. For 3 days, you could think anything you wanted to think. For 3 days, you could say anything you wanted to say about it. For 3 days, you could say, see, he was a phony and a fraud. For 3 days, you could throw your hands up and say there's nothing to him. Friday, you could laugh. Saturday, you could laugh. But early Sunday morning, he slapped the smile off your face. He took the grin out of your teeth. Early Sunday morning with no witnesses and no crowd and no palm trees and nobody singing not one song. Nobody saying Hosanna anywhere. Early Sunday morning without anybody to help him out of his grave clothes. Without anybody to get him out of the tomb. Early, God all by himself said it's over. Step from death into life. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Step from hell and death into life itself. Showing I have overcome and said you can overcome too. Now in order to be an overcomer, you got to have something to come over. As I close, oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. You can't be an overcomer and not have something to come over. Hallelujah to God. You can't be a champion and you ain't been in a fight. You can't be victorious if you don't have an opponent. If you don't have an opponent, you don't have a victory. Oh! But I'm here to tell, I feel like preaching, y'all. I'm here to tell you, hallelujah. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you and you and you. I'm here to tell all of you that are watching online. But most of all, I'm here to tell the enemy. I want to tell the devil, I want to preach to the devil for a minute. If you think I'm shocked, you don't know me. If you think I'm gonna quit, you underestimated me. Thinking not strange that these fiery trials have come against you. Hallelujah! I have a God that'll meet you in the fire, that'll meet you in the furnace, that'll meet you in the hospital, that'll meet you in your agony, that'll meet you in your suffering, that'll meet you in the hospital, that'll meet you in the cemetery, that'll meet you in your pain, that'll meet you with boils all over you, meet you with leprosy. I have a God that'll meet you in the unemployment line.
I want to talk about seasons of crying. Seasons of crying. And I don't know how you was raised. I was raised not to cry. So I have to climb over top of everything I was taught to cry because I was denied permission to cry. So crying hurts. And when crying hurts, my soul has no way to irrigate itself from the stress it has incurred. Grief doesn't leave if tears don't flow. I need to be able to release. I need to be able to cry. Hear me, brothers. I need to be able to cry. Not crying doesn't make you stronger, it makes you sick. I don't walk around crying all the time, but when I need to cry, I need to let out. There are seasons in your life where you are mourning. And don't nobody have to be dead. You can be mourning the job you lost, the house you didn't get, the age you're at, the stage you're at. You can be mourning the lack of companionship. There are a lot of things you can mourn about that create a season of crying. Whether you see him do it or not, he cries. He may wait till you sleep. But he cries. And thank God he does. Because if he doesn't, he's going to die or commit suicide or drive his car into a river. Tears are a gift from God to ventilate the soul when you have ingested too much pain. Tears are a sign to God, I need you. Somebody shout, cry. There is a cry. The kids can be playing in the backyard and they making noise and hollering and you don't pay them no attention. But there is a cry that will make you drop a plate on the floor and run out there with soap suds on your hands, because there is a cry that gets your attention as a parent. As it is with you, so it is with God. There is a cry that will get God's attention, that will arrest him and stop him in his tracks. If you don't believe it, ask blind Bartimaeus, who sat by the highway said begging. But when he heard Jesus was passing by, the Bible said that blind Bartimaeus began to cry. And he cried till he got on people's nerves. And he cried till they told him to shut up. But the more they told him to shut up, the louder he cried. And the Bible said Can I preach a minute? The Bible said that blind Bartimaeus cried till Jesus stood still. There is a cry that will arrest the Lord. There is a cry that will get God's attention. I heard David say, this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and delivered him out of all his troubles. If you would open your mouth and cry, God would deliver you. But when the boat docked and Jesus stepped off the boat, before he could get both feet on dry ground, the man came running to Jesus. Slap your neighbor and say, run. Run. Run away from self-sabotage. Run away from self-destruction. Run away from the way you talk to yourself. Run away from canceling out your pain with more pain. You had a bad man, you go get a worse man. You had a wife beater, you get another wife beater. It's pain to pain therapy because you don't feel worthy of good treatment. When a good man comes into your life, I just don't like him. You're cutting yourself. Slap him and say, run. The man runs to Jesus. Now listen to this. Legions of demons are in this man. Legions are massive multitudes of demons that are in this man. And all the legions, in a concerted effort of agreement, could not stop him from running. Can't nothing stop you from running. If you get ready to get to Jesus, can't nothing stop you from running. Can't nothing stop you from running. So they couldn't stop him from running. And when he got to Jesus, now the demons who knew that Jesus is a spirit, he knew that Jesus saw them. So they couldn't hide any longer. So they started talking to him and said, why have you come to I feel like preaching, I got to stop. Why have you come to torment me before my time? And then they started negotiating with Jesus. And they said, send us away, but don't let us leave the region. The man who was naked and bruised and bleeding and cutting himself in the tomb, when Jesus got through with him, he was chilling, dog. This is the way your spirit is supposed to be. He had one fear left. Will this work when I'm out of this atmosphere? And he says to Jesus, can I go with you? Daddy, can I go with you? Because in thy presence there's fullness of joy. And at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. There have been several times in this church that I have dismissed service. Took a shower, changed clothes, got in the car, driving home, and people were still here. Because there's something about glory. Glory, I mean real glory. I'm not talking about flesh, but real glory will make you linger. And they would tell me, Bishop, the people won't leave. They just sitting around. Some of them are laying prostrate in the floor. Some of them are laying on the altar. The man did not want to leave Jesus. And Jesus, I couldn't understand it. I thought, Jesus, I understand him because I'm a better man when you're around. And I know what it is to need you like all the time. He said, no, you don't get it. The only thing that stopped him from going home was being home. And once I got him whole, he could go home. The hardest thing for a man to do is go home. Even if he goes physically, getting him to go mentally, where he can really be home, at home, causes many men to circle the house. Before they go in the house, because they see the house as another kind of job. But the Lord said, go home. You will know you are free when you can be home at home.